joining Katie, and we're going to go through this workshop with you all about perfecting your pitch. Here we go. So I'll kick it off here with introductions. As I mentioned, my name is Pevin Garland. I am an early career recruiter with Koch Industries. I focus on a couple of our business capabilities, so supply chain, procurement, and HR, just kind of as mainly ones I really focus on. I am a Georgia State alum, so go Panthers. I graduated with my degree in managerial science in 2017. After that, I joined Georgia Pacific, just right down the street next to the College of Law, as a recruiting coordinator. And then about a year and a half ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, I joined our early career team. So you'll get a little bit of background on this in the next slide, but we recently combined 3 co-companies together to focus on one early career team. And that's just been really helpful because we have visibility to all of our internship and entry-level opportunities across the enterprise. And so far, this is our first year doing it, but we found it pretty beneficial for our students, just so we have more opportunities and more locations to offer you. All right, and I'm going to pass it off to Anam.
Hi everyone, I'm Anam Wahidi. I'm with the college team as well, or early career team, sorry. I support MBA sales, legal, ag, merchandising, marketing, a couple other smaller areas across the enterprise. I'm based here out of Atlanta as well, working currently remotely from Smyrna, Georgia. So looking forward to talking to you all and talking a little more about elevator pitches. I'll pass it on to Katie now.
Hey everyone, my name is Katie. I also sit on the early career team. I'm the primary recruiter for our accounting and finance and tax capabilities. I sit in Wichita, Kansas, so I'm a legacy Koch Industries recruiter. Prior to our joint efforts, I went to a small D2 school in Kansas for my undergrad in accounting, and then I went to graduate school at Wichita State here locally. So excited to be joining you all today, and hopefully we can plug our opportunities here at the end because we do have internship and full-time opportunities available right now. So looking forward to getting some of you in our pipeline.
Awesome, thanks, Katie. So I'm just going to go over like really high level here, kind of the team that we work on, just so you guys can get a better idea of our background, and then we'll connect that to elevator pitches. So we talked a little bit about Koch Industries. So that is pretty much our holding company for all these companies that you see on the screen here. And these companies aren't even all of the companies that we're involved in. I'd say from your perspective, you probably most notably noticed Georgia Pacific because we're just right there on Peachtree Street. Again, that's who me and Anam originally started with, and then now we're with our bigger holding company and our joint efforts. Georgia Pacific makes a lot of consumer products that you might notice, such as Bronny paper towels, Angel Soft, Dixie cups and plates and cutlery. We also make a lot of corrugated products and building products as well. And then in addition, our holding company, Koch, we have an office in what's now called the Georgia's Own Credit Union building right there by Alderhold, formerly the Equitable building. So we have quite a few offices and opportunities just right there around the corner from you guys. And then just a little bit of a highlight about our roles and kind of what we do and what opportunities we like to connect students with. This is a little highlight of our summer 2020 internship program. So even though we were unfortunately not able to move forward with all of our internships, of course, due to COVID and organizational opportunities, we did host 293 interns this past summer. We had 81 schools represented across 21 states across the US. So really neat, and we just hope to be able to expand that to more universities and more schools as we continue to leverage our capability across all of our companies. And one really surprising thing and exciting recognition that we got is we won one of the top 100 internship programs of 2020 presented by Way Up. Just a couple highlights, things that we got to do over the summer, and these are things that we had to implement as we pivoted to a virtual setting, but we hope be able to continue in our future programs. We had Enterprise Learning Series where we had just SMEs from different parts of our business come and present to our interns and host Q&As. We also got to do an exposure to market-based management, which is our business management philosophy. Interns got to choose different segments of that to take deep dives into. We also got to have our interns participate in Koch, which is learning pathways, which can be based off of either technical skills or soft skills. And that was kind of a choose your own adventure. The students and interns that we had participating got to pick areas that they were most interested in and take a deeper dive into those areas. Siri thinks I'm talking to her, I'm sorry. One of our other things we got to host, which we host every year, is our Intern Innovation Challenge. This is really cool because it gives our interns the opportunity to connect with interns from other companies. So say you are a Georgia Pacific intern, you might be on a team with an intern from Flint Hills Resources. And you get to come up with a business case or a solution or different opportunity that you get to identify, and then you get to present your ideas to leadership. And many of our ideas that we've had presented in the past couple of years have actually been implemented in our businesses. We also had the opportunity to host virtual volunteering, which was really special to us. Anything from tutoring kids online, that might be in elementary or middle school. Again, this was really led by our interns to find different passion projects and things that they were interested in their local communities to help out during a time that was really difficult for a lot of us as we transitioned into this world. All right, so now we're going to get started for what you came here for. We're going to start on our elevator pitch workshop. So during this workshop, we're going to answer a few questions. One of them is going to be, what is an elevator pitch? Now, I know a lot of you have probably taken BCom. I know I definitely had to in my days at Georgia State, so you might already have a good idea of this. But we're also going to address different things like what is the goal of an elevator pitch. Along with that, we're going to break down some different elements of an elevator pitch and actually give you a template that you can use to start creating your own elevator pitch. And then we're going to practice. We're going to answer that, how do I create a compelling elevator pitch? As you saw from the workshop flyer, practice makes perfect in this area, so we are going to have an opportunity for you to participate and jump in if you'd like. And now I'm going to hand it off to Anam.
Thanks, Trevin. So we're going to start with just talking a little bit about what is an elevator pitch. It's a good place to start. And I'll just kind of read off what this says and kind of talk a little bit about it. But an elevator pitch or an elevator speech is a brief synopsis of your background, your skills, and your goals. Focus on who you are, what you bring to the table, and what goals you want to achieve. So when you think about traditionally what the idea behind an elevator pitch is, it's if you walked into an elevator and met somebody and only had that elevator ride to kind of make a connection with them is really what the concept is. And so ideally you're about maybe 30 seconds, but the way I like to modernize that a little bit is just admitting we all have short attention spans and you only have about 30 seconds to keep somebody's interest. So it's just something to kind of keep in mind. I know sometimes elevator pitches sound cheesy. It's something you're hearing about in your 101 communications classes, but I can tell you that even as you go further into your careers, you still use an elevator pitch more or less. You just might not think about it as an elevator pitch or refer to it as one, but you still are using that as a way to introduce yourself to new business partners or new networking connections or just different people that you meet. So what is the goal of an elevator pitch? So the goal is, like I said, to create a connection to get to the next meeting. And so you have those 30 seconds or so to hook somebody in to want to be interested in talking to you, being engaged with you, and then getting you to the next goal. And what that next thing might be is going to vary. In some cases, that might be an interview. So that's probably what a lot of you are experiencing this fall. You're trying to attend career fairs in hopes of talking to somebody from the business or a recruiter to sign you up for an interview. But it might also just be a mentorship session. It might be a shadowing opportunity. It might just be forming a meaningful connection. Because again, remember, I think sometimes students forget to also think about the big picture and the long-term vision. Some of the connections you're making might not, give you that return on investment right away. So you might not schedule an interview with Trevin this fall or this spring, but maybe you'll come back next year and say, hey, Trevin, remember I met you, last year and had this great conversation, made this great connection. And those things can go a long way. So just kind of keep in mind that there are a lot of different ways that this can work out. And it also might just lead to another introduction. So you might connect with somebody, make a great elevator pitch, and I might find, this is a great person that I really want them to connect to the next person who's more relevant to them. So it can lead to a lot of different things. And I think that's just something important to keep in mind as you're meeting people across the board in your career. So when to use an elevator pitch? Again, it can come into use in so many ways, and COVID is teaching us that doesn't always mean that it has to be in person. So traditionally in pre-COVID life, a career fair would mean you were walking up to us at a career fair booth, and that's where you were shaking our hands and making that quick introduction, and we would kind of see where that conversation would flow. Now those career fairs are online, but it's kind of the same thing. You get 10 minutes to talk to a representative. And what I would say is that first minute and a half goes a long way, because if, again, you don't make a good impression, you don't start out strong, you don't, do a good job of making a connection with that person, it's going to be hard for them to stay tuned in for those next 7 to 8 minutes. So your elevator pitch will come in handy at career fairs. It will also come in handy at networking events. So that could be anything from your different student organizations that you're a part of, maybe student government, or if you're at a professional conference, meeting people, whether that's at a formal event, at a session, or maybe in between at a happy hour or a dinner type event. And then also they could come in handy at places like LinkedIn. So I have people reaching out to me on LinkedIn pretty regularly lately because of the time of the year. So I have candidates reaching out, wanting to learn more about different opportunities. And again, it can go a long way as to how they choose to frame that introduction. If you just reach out to me to say, hey, Anam, do you have opportunities for me? I can tell you that's not really helpful for you, because I don't really know anything about you. I'm not really intrigued by anything about you, and I don't know how to help you. So again, framing that introduction, is going to be really helpful for you. And now I will go ahead and pass this on to, I think, Katie.
All right, guys. So I'm going to go over the elements of an elevator pitch. So we have it kind of listed here, what you should start off with, what you should kind of stick in the middle, and then what you should end with. So we understand that your LinkedIn profile pitch is going to look a little bit different than an in-person pitch. So I can kind of walk through some of those. Your LinkedIn may be a little bit more standard, whereas you can personalize your one if you're in person. So how I like to think about it is the same way, since we're kind of in the middle of our fall recruiting season, what's top of mind for me is kind of how a recruiter would screen your resume or kind of screen you for a process. So the first would almost be the basic requirements. So what is a recruiter looking for? So we're looking for what are you studying? When are you going to be ready for a full-time job? Some other things that you would like us to know about, what school do you go to, that kind of thing. So then the second is, what does your involvement in school look like? What is your previous intern or job experience? And then what skills are you currently working on, or what do you currently possess? So when recruiters kind of go through that, we're looking for kind of the basic requirements from the beginning, more on the job application side of things. And then once the application's submitted and we're taking a look at the resume, those are the type of things that we're looking for off the top, is the involvement in school, the previous job experience, and then the skills that you possess. So some of those skills, I wanted to call your attention to some of the things that our company looks for. And I'll just kind of name some of these off, and maybe you can either relate these to what you're currently working on, or maybe things that it's like, oh, if Koch's in the market looking for some of these opportunities, then I should be thinking about that too. So some of the things that we'd like to call out are data analytics is a huge one across all of our capabilities for business as well as for STEM. So any type of emphasis or concentration or interest or passion or anything there is going to be helpful. Fast-paced learning environment. So do you do well in a fast-paced learning environment, as well as do you adapt quickly to change? So those are some of the things that you could call out there that we're seeing not only in our company but across probably all of the large companies. So strong communication skills is also a big one. So we have several opportunities, not only in If you just think about it, like that could come in the form of an accounting role, but it's also super important for supply chain or for sales. And so we need to think about that kind of across our capabilities. What are kind of those technical skills that we can bring, but then what are the more of the relational or the soft skills? So, and we also have some opportunities too that we even look for business writing in, which you wouldn't think so, but it still exists. So, and especially just with crafting emails and things. So, and then a couple other ones I'll draw your attention to are just like the natural curiosity. So willing to kind of jump in, ask questions, challenge the status quo. The analytical thinking skills is a big one. And then just thriving as part of a team. So if you have if you can think about those or if you possess any of those might be good ones to kind of call out on your profile or kind of in your elevator pitch. So, and then the last one I would say is kind of the glimpse of the future. So this is going to be like where you want to bring value to the company. And so like Trevin mentioned, we have a lot of Koch companies under the big umbrella, but each one is kind of looking for just a different sort of niche or unique set of skills. They all kind of have like a high level. We want a lot of these, but then we want someone specifically interested in, for example, commodity trading. So if there's anything that you're doing that can what can set me apart and what can bring value to your company, and again, this is more for the in-person versus the LinkedIn, that's kind of how you can think about it and structure it. I've also wanted to kind of draw your attention to a couple ways you can make it personal. So going back to the involvement in school, just wanted to highlight 3 ways to make it personal. So my first example is like if you've held any leadership roles, I would call that out because that's something that draws our attention as a recruiter to your resume and to your application. So that's something important to put there. I kind of already hit on this, but the second one is how your skills relate to the company you are applying at. So if you can kind of tailor that to what would Koch Industries find valuable versus what would another company find valuable. You may be great fits for both, but we're going to pick up on something that we're more familiar with. So drawing our attention to that. And then the last one is why you're interested in joining our company. And so we do have kind of a pre-recorded video interview as part of our recruiting process, and we can get into some of these questions through that. But I think it's also something that you can put as your elevator pitch. I learned about, and you can even include that in the first, hi, my name is so-and-so, I go to this school, I'm majoring in this. I've heard about Koch and I really want to be a part of your organization because of whatever. And I think that can fit into the 30 seconds or the minute that we want to spend doing the elevator pitch. So that is the element. So hopefully that all makes sense. I'm going to go to the next slide here. Trevin, you may have to advance it for me. Thank you. Okay. So putting it together. So this is where we can practice. So if you guys want to go ahead and just pop open Word or whatever you want to take your notes in, if that's OneNote or Word real quick, what we're going to do is kind of put this kind of into a template as we kind of talk through it. So while I'm kind of providing an example, if you kind of want to plug and play some of this, so feel free to just copy this. It doesn't have to be word for word, but we've kind of put together a standard template here for you. So again, kind of going back to what we already discussed is how we can think about the meat of it all. So start off with hi, my name is insert name. I am a junior at Georgia State University studying supply chain. And if you know about Koch, maybe you could just say here, I am interested in, your opportunities or learning more. I'm interested in Koch companies. Then you can either plug it into the first part or the second part, but going back to the whole involvement in school. So I am the vice president of Beta Alpha Psi and really enjoyed that position. Last summer, I also did an internship at Koch Industries where I worked on, this is an accounting example because I'm an accountant, but like monthly close activities or something like that. And you can even expand that just a little bit. So kind of highlighting some of that. And you can even plug in your skills here. Like I'm also, enrolled in a night class, or I'm also currently getting my certificate in data analytics. So just something just real quick to draw your attention, or I'm learning more about leadership skills or something along those lines that you could plug into there. And then the last one is pretty simple, so what can I bring to the company, or why do I want to be a part of your organization? So I graduate in the summer of 2022. So I'm looking for an internship in the summer of 2021 with your company. I feel like I have skills such as adapting to change and thriving on a team that I feel like your company would find valuable. So it's just something like that to kind of pull that all together. So feel free to copy these down into your template. I think Trevin's probably more than happy to send this over after too, if you guys want a copy of this to kind of keep as well as you kind of build that out. But does anybody kind of coming into this, you probably thought we may have a practice session and may have already prepared for, I'm going to work on this, or come prepared with my elevator pitch. So does anyone on the call want to kind of jump in, raise their hand, and practice in front of some live recruiters who'd be happy to provide feedback, or just to kind of hear how it goes for you? So anybody want to raise their hand and put their elevator pitch out there for us? If not, that's okay.
We're putting them on the spot. I figure maybe they can take a couple minutes to look at this and jot down some notes and kind of create their own. But Katie and Anam, me and you can kind of go through a couple examples, and then we have some video examples on the next page as well that can help you as you just look at this and take it and customize it to better fit what you would maybe do in an elevator pitch. So I can start it off with an example first, and then Anam and Katie, we can share ours if you want.
Sure.
Sure. Okay, so I want to pretend like I'm back in college. Sometimes I wish I was, but we'll go here. So hi, my name is Trevin. I'm a junior at Georgia State University studying managerial science with a concentration in human resource management. In my spare time, I also volunteer for Habitat for Humanity, and I'm also part of SHRM at GSU. Last summer, I did an internship with UPS where I worked in workforce management, and I got the opportunity to help with candidate flow. In my future, I'm looking for an internship with Koch Industries where I can use my skills in communication and project management to help bring your organization to the next level. Ta-da! That was a little bit on the spot there, so you'll have to forgive me. I think that I could definitely use some brushing up on my elevator pitch, but we can pass it off to Katie or Nam to see what you guys got.
I can go next. I'll take a stab at it. Again, this is all made up, so just bear with me. As creative as I can be. Hi, I'm Anam. I'm a MBA student studying at Georgia State, focused on branding. In my spare time, I like to volunteer at the local food bank, but I also serve as a secretary for our MBA student organization on campus. Last summer, I did an internship with Georgia Pacific where I was able to work on a branding strategy for AngelSoft. It was something that I really enjoyed. One learning that I had from last summer was that I needed to work more on my analytic skills. And so since then, I've added some courses to work on that. I'm looking forward to finding a full-time opportunity in the branding space in a company within the Atlanta area, especially interested in CPG companies, but also interested in other opportunities.
I was going to say, it looks like we have a hand raised. Awesome. Is it India? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes.
Awesome. We'd love to hear yours.
Okay, I'm going to come up on camera so you guys can see me. I want to try and see.
Go for it.
Because I'm currently in business communication, and this is actually an assignment that we have. So I wanted to give it a try.
Awesome. Good.
Okay.
I love that they have that built in. Let's see what you got.
Okay, I am a senior at Georgia State University. I'm currently studying marketing. In my spare time, I also volunteer for Wilderness Works as a part of my current organization that I work for. This year, I have worked with creating a service class for my current organization where we are teaching on improving internal and external service. I'm talented at quickly adapting, and I have a natural curiosity. I'm hoping for a full-time position with Koch in your marketing area where I can use some of my service skills to better improve your marketing area.
Awesome job. One thing I really loved that you did well in your speech, and this is something that I'm going to hit on a little bit later in our tips, is you had a really great tempo as you went through. So if you're like me, and I even do this in presentations to this day, sometimes I will either talk way too fast, or this sounds silly, but I will just like forget to breathe while I'm talking. So you did a really great job at keeping a good tempo. You were clear, concise, and from that, I know exactly what your goals are, what some of your skills are, and what you hope to do in the future.
Yeah, and one thing I'll add too, just for everyone here on the call, is when you end it, it may just feel kind of awkward, like, hey, I'm just going to stop and then just see what they say. So if you're in person, it could always be like, what opportunities do you have? Or can you tell me a little bit more about your recruiting process, and like end it there. So that way you almost put the ball back in their court and you kind of finish your pitch per se, and then you give them the opportunity to answer. So that was really good.
Thank you.
Awesome. And before we go to Katie, do we have any other students with their hands raised? I see a very limited amount here, so I don't want to miss anyone if they want to share. I don't think I see any yet, but if you do
Hey,
get
Trevin.
Yeah?
You do actually.
I do.
Christine, I see her hand is raised.
Okay, Christine, you can go ahead and go for it. Sorry, I don't think I can see those on my end, but
should I put on my camera?
if you want to.
Okay. Sorry, I don't look dumb because I just sprained my ankle. So.
Oh, that is okay. I'm usually in pajamas. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, so elevator pitch is like my name, what I major in, what I've done, what I'm excited about, what I want. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hi, my name is Christine. I'm currently a student at Georgia State University. I major in marketing, and in my spare time, sorry, wait, hold on, let me do that one more time. Okay. Hi, my name is Christine. I am a student at Georgia State. I major in marketing. I have a passion for tech development, improvement hacks, and self-development. This led me to create my own podcast with two of my close friends. It's called Do It For Me. And in my previous internship past, I've always worked at tech startups. So I thrive in a fast-paced environment, and I'm excited to work at a company like Coca-Cola because I'm really excited to bring innovation, and I really love the company and their core values, and I want to be able to, I'm excited to be something bigger than myself, maybe?
Yeah, that was good. I also love kind of sharing something unique about you, like talking about the podcast. That's really helpful, especially in situations where, you know, we're meeting a ton of students in one day. So whether it be a virtual career fair or an in-person one or a networking event, looking back, so say you email me later and you're like, hi, my name's Christine. I met you at the Georgia State Career Fair. I talked to you a little bit about my interests in marketing development, and then also how you can even like throw in, I talked to you a little bit about my podcast. That automatically in my head, I'm like, yes, Christine, I totally remember who that is. So that's a great thing to throw in as well.
Okay. So like when I end it, do I say like, if for an elevator pitch, I'm just saying like, oh, this is who I am, and I'm looking, instead of saying for a company like, oh, I'm just looking for a full time at this position where I can put these skills into this, or should I guess what I'm asking, like, should I cater to each company, or should I just make a generic one? And do I say that I want a position, or do I just be like, hey, this is who I am. I like tech startups. I like development, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is me. Should I just leave it like that?
Yeah, I'd say a lot of that can depend. And in our next slide, we do have a kind of a video that shows you different ways that you can customize it depending on different situations you're in and different people that you're talking to. So I say it just depends on the environment. If you're one-on-one, you can definitely make it more personal and pointed. Somewhere at a career fair, it might be a little bit difficult because you're interacting with so many people at once. So in that case, I would probably keep it more general as to what you want the next steps to be. So say you graduate within the next year or so, hey, I'm really looking for entry-level roles in X area. Do you have any opportunities that you think I might line up with? And the answer to that might be, I don't know, but another good thing in this situation is they could say, hey, I don't know, I'm not really familiar with our marketing programs. My colleague Anam is. So let me get your information and I can connect you too.
Okay, but is the goal of the elevator pitch to make sure they remember me, right?
Yes, so I'd say both. So adding that personal touch just to make yourself memorable, but also making sure you have an ask. So I don't know if you want me to connect you with someone that can mentor you, or if you're looking for an internship, or if you're looking for a full-time role. So just helping to connect the dots there, so I know how I can help you, is really important as well.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Kevin, I just wanted to jump in real quick.
Yeah.
So, Christine, I did want to say also, I really liked how you called out that you enjoyed the work environment that you had at your internship. I think, again, that's super helpful for someone you're connecting with, because it just helps them kind of figure out, helps us figure out more about you, right? So we might have a role where we're like, oh, wow, that would not be a fit at all based on that, or maybe there is something that's a perfect fit. So I think that's always something good to add. But the other thing, Trev and I saw a question come in, just wanted to read it out, was, could you share some more tips on what personal aspects we should include in our pitch?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd say just from this example that we have on the screen, some that can kind of hit on that would be volunteer experience that you have. That's a cool one because the person that you're talking to might be familiar with that organization, and that might be something you have in common. Christine, I think the example you brought about you having a podcast, that's something that's cool and unique and kind of is linked to your your professional interests that can kind of help them jog their memory of who you are in their head later. And then also just maybe leadership opportunities in different student organizations can be a great one too. I say get as personal as you want, as long as it shows some sort of leadership ability, or even if it ties to your professional goals in any way. I'm trying to think of one that wouldn't necessarily be applicable. Maybe like, in my spare time, I like to take my dog to the dog park. Okay, well, that's really cool. I love dogs too, but that doesn't really give me an idea of who you are and how you can make an impact. So definitely highlighting volunteer organizations are great. Leadership positions at any clubs or school organizations are great. Even possibly bringing up how you made an impact. Did you win a case competition last semester? Different things like that are great things to share.
Yeah, I would agree. I think adding personal information that's helpful to your overall pitch is what you want to frame it as. So I know in the past, I've often mentioned that I grew up overseas, with the mindset that kind of shows my adaptability, or the fact that I can kind of adjust in different settings. So again, you just want to be mindful of, does it really add to your story, or is it just kind of adding an unnecessary fact to the pitch?
Yeah, and I would say too, try to have it in written form as well as verbal form, especially in our world of COVID and virtual career fairs and networking events. If you only have a chat function, like for example, we're attending the NABA conference at the end of this week. And so we don't have video capability. And so we'll be purely chatting with somebody. And so until we can kind of pull them into our process and get that video capability. And so that's where it's like important to grab our attention. What's the couple lines that you want to peel out and post into a chat to start off the conversation to kind of grab our attention?
Thanks, Katie. That's a great point. Let me see. Mario, do we have anyone else raising their hands? For some reason, I can't see it on my end. I just want to make sure I don't miss anyone.
Yeah, we actually have a couple.
Okay, great.
So Carlos, I saw your hand go up first, and then Sonara.
Awesome. All right, Carlos, kick us off.
Perfect. Well, I do want to use this opportunity to practice my elevator pitch, but before I continue with that, I had a question about the last section, literally the last section of the elevator pitch, the one, that I'm seeing on the screen. It says I'm looking for an internship / full-time position with some type of company. In that blank, is it best practice to name the company, I'm speaking to, or is it by some type of company, you mean, an industry? So let's say, for example, I'm looking for an internship with Bank of America versus looking for an internship with, you could say just an investment banking or with a financial institution. What sounds better? What makes the most sense?
Yeah, that's a great question. For this one, I would say it depends on maybe the situation you're in and how well you know your audience. So if you're at a career fair and you're walking up to a company that you might have heard of before and you know that they're in investment banking or fintech or something like that, you could bring that fact in. Maybe you don't know exactly what they do. So say you walk up to this company and you're like, hey, I'm really interested in a full-time position in a fintech company. I know your company has some involvement in that. You can bring that in, but if you are more familiar with that actual company and that's somewhere that you really want to target, and you know that the person you're speaking to works for that company, then you can fill in the specific company name.
Okay.
That answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Makes perfect sense.
Good.
Thank you.
Carlos, I was going to just add another thing for you to keep in mind when you're going to these events. Again, we want to be realistic. If there are 100 employers attending an event, you're not going to have a customized pitch for each of them, but definitely spend some time before major events to kind of study who's going. And so if you have that targeted 10 employers that are your goal dream employers, then I would definitely recommend, kind of working really heavily on those and just being prepared for everybody else. There are probably also going to be situations where you might talk to a company that's fairly new and they're not going to expect you to know them, and that's okay. So just kind of keep that in mind, that I think a lot of people are going to be realistic of what to expect from you. So don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you for the advice.
Okay, up next is Sonara. She had her hand raised as well.
Hello. I wanted to go ahead and practice my elevator pitch. I actually have this assignment for this week for my BCom class, so I wanted to just give it a try.
Awesome. We'd love to hear it.
I do have a question. Well, I think you will also probably notice once I'm done, but I don't have a lot of, I guess you would say experience. I have never interned or anything. Well, I do currently hold a job in property management, so I haven't included that yet, but I just kind of didn't know where to include that. But I guess maybe you guys could help me after you guys hear, because I didn't include it at all in where I kind of quickly typed it up based on the notes I had already had from this week. So just wanted to know afterwards, where's the best place where I could put that in there, since I know it has to be short.
Yeah, sure thing.
Okay, so, Hi, my name is Sonara Pinola. I am a senior at Georgia State University. My major is managerial sciences, and I am expected to graduate in May 2021. I am a high energy self-starter, and I am able to adapt quickly to change. During my spare time, I like to volunteer at a local nursing home. I would like an opportunity to learn more in the management field. Therefore, I am seeking an internship at Koch Industries where I can get hands-on experience. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to joining your team.
That's great. Again, very good on your pace and your tempo, and you're very clear and concise throughout there. I'd say that you could add some more of your property management experience either before or after your volunteer experience. So I was in the same boat as you. I graduated in December and didn't have an internship until the summer right before that. So throughout school, though, I did have a part-time job that I had almost my entire time I was in school. So I drew a lot of examples from that. Maybe different opportunities. Like for example, I led a team training for one of our team's product launches. That was something that I really leaned on to show my leadership ability and my different skills. So maybe taking on a project that you worked on at work, or a way that you've shown great customer service during your time in property management. That's definitely something that you could include there. I know a lot of times on our team, we don't expect like our interns or hires to have previous internship necessarily, but it does definitely help if you can pull from either a part-time job, or again, if you're heavily involved in a volunteer organization, anything like that is definitely just helpful in showing your skills and helping us connect the dots to where you could fit within our roles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course.
I really like too how you ended with like thanks for your time and made it personal that way. I know if you research our company, we have 8 guiding principles, and one of them is just respect. And so I think that can show a lot about somebody just with I'm not just one in this big sea of people and I feel like I'm getting lost. It's like, no, like it stands out to us because you do bring that you're humble and you're respectful and you understand that we're taking time out of our day and so are you. And so I liked that. And I think we can draw on that too, as like there may not be specific things in the pitch, you know, like you said, like if I don't have pertinent internship experience or things like that, but the fact that you are going to thank us for our time, that goes a long way. And so I liked how you added that.
Thank you.
So Trevin, you actually have about 3 more that have raised their hand.
Okay, we can probably go through those last 3, and then we'll keep moving on with the presentation.
Okay, perfect. So
yeah,
Jesdrina, I think I said your name right. I'm sorry if I didn't.
Hey, you're fine. You said it correctly though.
Oh, awesome. Good.
Hello, everyone. So I also am doing the elevator pitch in my class, and I wrote down what I wanted to say, but I just wanted to get feedback and see if it's okay or whatever.
Absolutely.
So, hi, my name is Justrina George. I'm a senior at Georgia State University studying accounting, expecting to graduate in 2021. I am interested in pursuing a career in financial accounting. I obtained my background experience in finance by assisting in opening accounts, providing financial planning, and prepare loan applications while working in the banking industry. With customer service, I know it's important to always communicate, listen, and provide positive feedback to build a strong relationship with others. An example of my leadership skills is taking charge of a project and ensure that it's done in a timely manner. After graduating, I want to be a part of an accounting firm that provides support for small business owners and support the firm's future goals. I look forward to speaking with you again to provide more details why I will be a great benefit to join your team.
Sorry, I was muted. I was going to say that was awesome. You sound like you've practiced a lot, which is always definitely key. Again, I know me, for example, just kind of thinking back to going to career fairs when you're in that high pressure one-on-one situation, you can get a little bit nervous. So rehearsing is so important and helps you sound confident, which you definitely did. I think it was great. The only feedback that I could think of is it sounds like you have some really great experience that's relevant to your future goals already. So I think there was a part where you talked about, it was either customer service or management, but maybe in just a small, like specific example that you've encountered in work would be really cool, and it just makes it more personal to you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay, your next person is Colton.
Hello.
Hi, Colton.
So I just wrote some things down, and I've been practicing my speech, having to do it in a lot of career events since the field I'm going to is a little bit competitive. So, hi, my name is Colt Hansen. I'm a former Army Scout of 4 years, turned into a GSU student majoring in computer information systems and tracking and cybersecurity. I'm also the vice president of the student organization AITP, a technology group here. Last summer, I interned at LexisNexis Risk Solutions, where I coded a program to forensically gather information from databases and help their team get that information clearly. This summer, during the COVID event, I worked to get my Security Plus certification, and I earned the achievement and failed that goal. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you about your possible positions at, like, as a security analyst in your organization.
That's great. Good job. First off, thank you for your service. I would say something that really stuck out to me about yours at the end, you definitely had a specific ask. And that can be helpful too, no matter who you're talking with. Because again, for me, for example, I work a lot with like supply chain and HR, but in my head, I know, hey, my coworker Kevin works a lot with our like IT and computer science group. So that kind of gave me your background. I could say, hey, I know we have opportunities in that area. While I'm not specifically the right person to talk to about that, my coworker Kevin over here, or if he's not at that event, I'd love to get your information so I can connect you with Kevin and he can tell you more about our opportunities.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, that was really good. I think that you did a really good job and have a lot of relevant experience. And so that's something that just in a practical sense, we could probably pick up on a lot of that through the resume and then pull you into the process and then further learn about you through engagements, either kind of through our pre-recorded video interview or a live video or a live interview. And so that's exactly what we want, is like get those skills on the front end, apply it and kind of put it on the resume, apply it in situations like this, and then that's going to lead you directly into the interview process. So great job.
Thanks, guys.
All right, your last person is Leah.
Hey, can everyone hear me?
Yep, I can hear you, Leah.
Okay. So I didn't put a company that, like for the last part, just because I wanted to leave it open, since I'm applying to several places, but I'll just go ahead and start. Hi, my name is Leah Zarzor. I'm a senior at Georgia State University studying computer information systems with a minor in marketing. In my spare time, I enjoy volunteering for the Women in Technology organization as a part of the WIT GSU chapter. The past 2 summers, I interned with top fintech corporations, Equifax and NCR, where I worked on several data analysis, marketing, and testing automation projects. I also created both of the company's first intern-led women technology corporate events. After I graduate in May 2021, I'm looking for a full-time position with an innovating technology company where I can use my analytical and marketing skills and previous experience to make an impactful contribution to your company. And thank you for your time.
Great job, Leah. Again, really awesome and impactful when you can bring in those specific examples. And again, know that they don't have to be from, any corporate experience. We're all totally open to hearing about even a part-time job, how you've been impactful or taken on leadership positions there. And then also just different clubs, organizations, volunteer opportunities. All of those, I really suggest looking in to see what specific examples you have that can either show leadership ability or how they can relate directly to, what you want your future career to be. But again, really great job in bringing those specific examples, guys.
Thank you.
Yep, and I'll add one more thing to that. So I know that we don't want to pull on buzzwords too much, but there are some that are important to call out. So you threw in automation, data analytics, those kind of things. And I think that's okay. If you know that companies are looking for that, put that in there, because that's something that before we even get to know you, we're going to be picking up on that stuff. So if you say that, they're like, that totally connects. That's somebody we want to pull in. So don't be afraid to pull on some of those levers if you have that in your tool belt. So.
Okay, I just have one, follow-up question for you, Katie.
Yeah.
So you mentioned those keywords, but if I'm going to be applying to a company that doesn't necessarily involve testing automation, like for the position that I want, should I even bring it up? Even though it was like a major project that I worked on, like in my previous internship, is it worth bringing up?
I think so, and I think exactly in your specific situation, it's crazy to think, but like automation exists in so many, and exactly the situation that you just brought up, it exists in so many different roles other than what we just think of as an IT role. And so it's basically weaved into all of our businesses now, and it's just going to be that one factor that we're all looking for to what type of talent do we want to bring in. It all stems back to that kind of the underlining analytics automation. If we have the emphasis or concentration or people that are have experience or are passionate about that, I think so. And I think that even if it's not, I think it's good, because you never know where that could lead you to. You may think that you want a position in a specific position with a company, but there may be a better fit. And so because we kind of have the overall big picture and know what all opportunities our company can offer you, we may actually find a better position for you or a certain niche other than the one that maybe you had heard of or found on the website or whatever. So I think it's still, and it's not going to make it lengthy to like you're still within the perfect time amount. So I would leave it in there. But like Trevin mentioned before, you can totally personalize it if you have a couple companies you want to meet with.
Okay, thanks so much.
Of course. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for the participation. I never know what level we're going to get there, so that was really exciting to hear that you guys had been practicing your pitches on all levels. This might have been your first time going through it, but we hope that this will at least give you some sort of a skeleton so you can go through and work out how to best display your skills. There we go. We do have this video here. Anam or Katie, I'm going to lean on you to make sure that the audio plays correctly. It's just a couple minutes long, but I think that he does a really great example of showing possibly different situations or people that you might be addressing for an elevator pitch. So I'll go ahead and play this. And now just give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
Let's start with the classic example. Imagine you're at a career fair speaking with an HR representative or recruiter for a company you'd like to work for. These people are very much involved with the hiring process, so you can be direct. As you'll recall from my video on how to make an elevator pitch, your pitch should be structured like this. Number 1, who you are and what you've been doing lately. Number 2, what makes you unique. Number 3, your goal. And number 4, your call to action. Number 1. My name's Tony Thompson, and I've been a member of the Finance Club at SuperSuite University for 2 years. I'm currently running this year's stock pitch competition. I'm at my best when I need to solve a complex problem by analyzing and focusing on the most important information. I want to land a spot in the Investment Banking Analyst Summer Internship program at JP Morgan this summer. Here's a copy of my resume. What type of candidate are you looking for? This example is a great way to start off a constructive conversation about yourself and the company. For me, the shorter you can make an elevator pitch, the better. This example is concise, informative, and most importantly, conversational. Now you just have to close on getting an interview. Another common situation is speaking with an employee of a company you'd like to work for. This person can usually put you in contact with someone in HR or a recruiter, but engaging them directly about the hiring process might not be productive. Hi, my name's Andy Anderson, and I'm a senior at Awesome College. I interned at XYZ Marketing Company last year, and I learned a great deal about social media advertising and branding. Over the last 3 months, I've helped the campus coffee shop increase their sales by 20% through my social media marketing campaign. I'm focused on getting the digital marketing analyst position at Amazing Media after I graduate. Here's my card. Who would you recommend I speak with at Amazing Media to learn more about the opportunity? With this approach, they understand who you are, what you're interested in, and that you can produce results. It's unlikely they'll have any reservations about putting you in touch with the right person. At times, you'll find yourself at an event, and during casual conversation, someone will ask you about your career plans. Classic, right? You might not know much about the person. They could be involved in the industry you're looking to break into, or not. Either way, Here's a good approach to leverage that situation to advance your interests. My name's Joe Jacobs, and I'm a junior at Really Cool College. Right now, we're learning how to use advanced analytics in the sales process. In our sales competition last month, I was the highest selling student by over 20%, and I used advanced analytics to help achieve that result. My goal is to become a commercial salesperson at Bridgestone after I graduate. Do you know anyone at Bridgestone or in the tire industry that I can connect with? Not everyone will be able to help you, but if they can, hand them your business card so you can get connected. This is the perfect way to turn small talk into a potential career opportunity. Get a business card with your contact information on it. Yes, even if you're a student. It's much easier in informal situations to use that rather than whipping out your resume. Remember to read the situation and be prepared to change your approach if necessary. If your interaction has to be brief, hand them your business card so you can connect at a later time. Let me know if there's other situations you'd like me to cover.
All right. So again, that was just kind of a high level of some different situations you might encounter. I'll say his advice there about the business card. I wouldn't go out of your way or spend extra money to do that necessarily. If you have them already or you have the funds to do so, that's okay. But at times it's okay to ask for their business card or contact info so that you can follow up via email at a later time.
If you have questions.
Awesome. So here we've already gone over a lot of these tips that we've heard throughout the presentation, but in interest of time, I know we're wrapping up here. A couple tips for a compelling pitch. I'd say eye contact is so big, especially if you're in person. Over a computer, that can be kind of hard, especially here. I have monitors and then my laptop down here. But eye contact is really big, and just make sure that it helps you convey authenticity and make a general connection or genuine connection. Personalization, we talked about that a lot before, whether you have a podcast or hold a leadership position in a student organization or won a case competition last semester or take on leadership positions in your part-time job. I think that these are all great ways to really stick out to the person that you're talking to, and then later helps them recall and jog their memory of who you are. And then lastly, a really big part of a compelling pitch is an ask. Make sure that the person that you're talking to knows what your end goal is or how they can help you. So, hey, I'm really interested in having or getting an internship with Koch Industries. Can you connect me with the right person that can help me get that opportunity? It could even be for another introduction to another person. So however you kind of want to tackle that, we came up with the practice session just a couple slides ago. I think it's just really helpful to make sure that the person you're talking to knows at the end how they can help you. And last but not least, practice. Again, I thank you all for your participation today. Practicing is such an important part of this process and gathering feedback from others. So I definitely encourage you to practice with your friends, other students in your class, your professor, or your academic. These are all great people that can help you rehearse and then also give you great on your elevator. All right, so that's all we have for you today. I know a lot of you may have to drop for other classes or commitments, but I did just want to say, again, we really thank you for your participation today. If you are interested in any of our opportunities, I put our website down in the bottom right corner. As I mentioned earlier, we have opportunities in the Atlanta area at Georgia Pacific and Koch. So I definitely encourage you to check those out and then reach out to any of us if you're interested. You can reach out to us on LinkedIn or directly through our emails. But does anyone have any questions before we end? I can't see the hands, I'm sorry. So if you have a question, feel free to jump on in.
Hey, I put in the chat earlier. I had a question.
Yeah.
So for my case, it's kind of different since I'm international student.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't had the opportunity to have a job or internship yet. So I wonder what else I put in my pitch that kind of like beside internship and stuff.
For sure. So I think that your pitch should still be, really focused to you and your skills and what you bring to the table. But you can be direct in that situation and ask if that company has any opportunities for international students. That a lot of times can vary more so from role to role and company to company, but I don't think that there's any issue with being direct there. And also it could be, just an interesting fact to share about yourself. As Anam mentioned before, it can show that you are adaptable and a quick learner. So definitely don't shy away from sharing that in your pitch, but also continuing to bring in the other examples of, leadership opportunities that you've taken on, and even bringing in examples from your classroom. So maybe projects that you've worked on, or if you participate in, a case competition or any clubs on campus, anything like that.
All right, thank you so much.
Of course.
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you okay? So I had a few one-on-ones last week, and so I know, like, in person, you're supposed to go ahead and introduce yourself and do your elevator pitch. Are you expected to do the same thing, I guess, or virtually? Like, I guess when you go into the room and you're both there, is that where you start off?
Yeah, I can go ahead and answer this, and then Katie, if you have anything to add, feel free to jump in. But I would recommend it. I would say virtual career fair is just kind of getting started there, because you don't get that personal connection that you do, and you get to reach out and shake someone's hand. I think it's okay to just start it off by saying, "Hi, my name is Jessica," and then a lot of times the recruiter or the business partner that you're talking to will introduce themselves. And then from there, it's totally okay to just jump into your elevator pitch. Again, that kind of helps them navigate where your interests lie and how they can connect you to different opportunities that company may have.
Yeah, the one thing I would add that might be helpful, because I know it can be kind of awkward, is once you've made that introduction, you can always specifically ask that person, like, hey, I would love to hear a little bit about you and your role, because you might be meeting a recruiter, you might be meeting somebody from the business, you might be meeting somebody specifically from an area you're very interested in. So that might help you organically build a conversation from there by asking more specific questions or just kind of hearing more about their career and experiences.
All right. Any other questions? Great. Well, thanks again for joining, guys. We really appreciate it. And like Anand mentioned in the chat, if you have any questions or follow-ups, please feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn. We'd be happy to connect with you and point you in the right direction if you have any interest in our opportunities.
Thanks, everybody. Nice to meet you.
Thanks, everyone. Good luck this fall.
Good luck. Have a great afternoon.
Bye.
Bye.